Hi, this is Nathan Oxenfeld with Integral Eyesight Improvement in Carrboro, North Carolina. In today's video, I want to talk a little bit about some of the most important aspects of your vision. Things like your visualization, your imagination, and your memory. And explore some of these non-physical components of your vision. Because many of the Bates Method 101 videos I've shared so far have been primarily focused on some more of the physical components of your vision and your eyesight, but you don't want to leave out your insight or your inner vision. The physical practices may only take you 10 to 20% of the way towards improved vision. The majority of the work and the gains are really found in more of the mental components and practices. Before we dive in though, I want to give you a few quick updates about what's been going on with me. I've actually relocated to a new location. I'm no longer based in Asheville, North Carolina. I'm here in my new office in downtown Carrboro, North Carolina, which is in the Metro Triangle area. So I'm very excited to be in this new place to reach more people, not only here in Carrboro and Chapel Hill, but also in Raleigh and Durham. So if you happen to live in this area, make sure to come by and say hey in person, or if you know someone who lives in central North Carolina who would benefit from some of this vision work, send them this video or give them my information, because I've got a lot of things planned coming up for this upcoming year. Starting this weekend actually, I'm going to be at the Yoga Fest in downtown Raleigh on Saturday, April 2nd. Then at the end of April, I'm going to be teaching a vision workshop at a chiropractic center. Then the first 2 weeks of May, I'm going to be teaching at festivals in Pittsboro and Black Mountain at Shikori Hills and Leaf Festival, which are always a ton of fun, doing some vision workshops and eye yoga classes there. And from there, almost every weekend following throughout the summertime in May, June, July, and August, I'm going to be offering various kinds of talks and classes and workshops and retreats all around the state in this whole region. So in Chapel Hill, Carrboro, Raleigh, Durham, but also back up in the mountains in Asheville and Boone, going through Charlotte and Wilmington, and also hopefully going back up through Richmond and maybe even DC. So make sure you stay tuned about some of those dates this upcoming summer. If you're anywhere in this area and you want to get involved and come out to a live workshop and experience some of this eyesight and insight work in person, sometimes that makes a really big difference. And regardless of my move, if you live elsewhere in the country or the world, you can still access me via email or over Skype. If you want to set up an initial consultation with me to learn more about how to get involved, or you can look into enrolling in one of my upcoming 12-week online group vision improvement series. So no matter where in the world you live, you can still access me and get involved with some vision training. And actually lately I've been working more with people online at a distance than with people in person. And that's personally what I did to improve my own vision. Was my vision teacher and I were across the country from each other and we only corresponded online. So I know from firsthand experience that it can work even at a distance. So to begin our conversation today about your mental vision, your insight, working with your visualization, memory, imagination, I want to just read an excerpt out of Margaret Corbett's book, Help Yourself to Better Sight, one of my hands down favorite books. So the beginning of the chapter in this book about mental relaxation opens up with a quote from Aldous Huxley, the author of Brave New World and Heaven and Hell and Doors of Perception, and who also wrote a book called The Art of Seeing, which recounts his personal experience of using the Bates method to improve his own vision. So Aldous Huxley's quote says, "Sensing is not the same as perceiving. The eyes and nervous system do the sensing. The mind does the perceiving. The faculty of perceiving is related to the individual's accumulated experiences. In other words, to memory." So that's an interesting quote because he points out the relationship between your vision and your memory. So I'm not sure if this is something you've thought about before, about the role that your memory plays in your vision and your eyesight and your insight. But I want you to start to think about that connection and realize that what you see right now is a combination of what you're seeing with your eyes right now, plus what your brain is filling in from previous memories of things that you've seen that have been similar. So your eyes take in different shapes and colors, and your brain is filing through millions of these visual memories of similar things that you've seen before, because your entire life you've been accumulating these different visual memories that contribute to your vision right now. So it's just kind of crazy to think about. So after that quote, Margaret Corbett begins her chapter by writing, "Dr. Bates discovered how to relax a tense, busy mind for a few moments of respite in the midst of a toiling day. This is done through memory of pleasant, happy events and experiences, or beautiful things you would like to see again. The underlying principle is this: you cannot mentally do two things at one time. It is impossible to remember pleasant scenes and simultaneously to worry over problems, which means to strain. Remembering scenes or events you have enjoyed is cheerful memory, thus relaxing. Worry is an unhappy activity, therefore tensing. One can choose and determine for a few moments to relive a joyous experience or to remember something beautiful one has seen. That is, indulge in mental pictures. Look through a window into the past, thus obliterating for a moment the troublesome present." And then she quotes Dr. Bates. So Dr. Bates says, "Perfect memory of any object increases mental relaxation, which results in a relaxation of the eyes, and both together result in better vision." Briefly, memory brings vision. So let's try that together to see if we can have an experience of what Dr. Bates and Margaret Corbett and Aldous Huxley are all talking about. So to try this myself, I'm going to hold this tennis ball. So, like Dr. Bates says, perfect memory of any object. So it doesn't matter what the object is. So I want you to grab an object nearby that you can hold in your hand. And we're going to practice remembering it and visualizing it. And also tapping into our imagination with it as well. So I'm going to hold my tennis ball in my hands. I'm going to feel the texture. I'm going to study what it looks like first with my eyes open to get that visual memory. So I'm going to look at the color. I'm going to look at the shape. So I've got this yellow circle here, and it's got this X, this black X on one side of it, and it's got the signature tennis ball ridges. So it's a pretty simple, basic object. Should be pretty easy to remember. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at it with my eyes open, study it, and then I'm going to close my eyes, and I've lost the eyesight. I have no visual image of the tennis ball any longer. But there's still another sense that I can tune into, the sense of touch. So it's in my hand, I feel the weight of it, feel the shape of it, it's round, it's soft. I can't sense the color, but I can remember that it was yellow. So I'm literally seeing with my eyes closed this little yellow ball in front of me with these ridges and that black X. And I'm not trying to picture anything else in the room because I'm sitting in this space with a table and a book and a lamp and all kinds of things around me. But when I close my eyes, I forget about all that other stuff and I'm just focusing my mind on this one object. And even though my eyes are closed, I have this sensation of visualization. I'm getting a visual of it even though there's no physical eyesight. So we're talking about mental sight here, the inner vision, the insight. If you open your eyes again, you can see it again. So you get more of that physical information about what it looks like, and then try it again. You just close your eyes for a few seconds and remember what you just saw. And then breathe and open with an exhale. And now the physical image comes back. So you're going from the physical version to the mental version. And you want those two to be as close together as possible. You want to get really good at picturing things with your eyes closed, especially if any part of your vision with your eyes open has any kind of blur in it, near or far. If you're farsighted, maybe if you hold the tennis ball up close, it's blurry. If you're nearsighted, maybe when you hold the tennis ball out far, it's blurry. Now, the real magic of the mind here is that when you close your eyes, with your eyes open, the image is blurry. But when you close your eyes, now you have the opportunity to activate your imagination. So it's not just memory. You don't want to remember a blurry tennis ball. You want to start with that, remember what you saw, and visualize it. But then you want to use your imagination and creativity to change the image. You want to imagine what the ball would look like at this distance if it was perfectly clear, if you're farsighted. If you're nearsighted, you would hold the ball out beyond your edge of clarity, see it blurry with your eyes open, close your eyes, remember what you just saw, and then make it clear with your mind. Because there's no limit to your imagination. You can imagine anything. So you're just making a slight change to the tennis ball. So if you're nearsighted, maybe you'll want to look at it up close where it's clear to really see all the details and really, explore it. If you're farsighted, maybe you will hold it far away first to get a clear version of it. And then you close your eyes and you bring it in and picture it coming in and getting larger and staying clear. If you're nearsighted, you open first and then close your eyes and send it away and imagine it moving into the distance, getting smaller and staying perfectly clear. So this exercise is very crucial because before you can start to physically see better on the outside with your eyesight, you have to be able to picture things clearly on the inside with your eyes closed. And if you're new to this practice, maybe you didn't seem to notice any visualization, or maybe you didn't see anything with your eyes closed. Maybe it was just blank. And if that's the case for you, Margaret Corbett might give you some insight. On the next page, she writes, "Some persons claim that they cannot visualize, that the moment they close their eyes, everything is a blank. This is a misunderstanding of the meaning of visualization. Naturally, when the eyes are closed, sight is impossible. You cannot see with the physical eye. But you can still remember something you have seen. That is mental picture work. True visualization. Memory pictures might be a better phrase." So make sure that you're not forcing it and you're not trying too hard to visualize your object or see things with your eyes closed. You're going to have much better results if you approach it in a very gentle and relaxed way. And don't think about it as creating these images of things that you've never seen before. You're literally just taking a picture of it or a video with your eyes, seeing it first and then closing and just replaying that image in your mind. And you can go back and forth as many times as you need to, eyes open, eyes closed, eyes open, eyes closed, until you start to be able to remember what you saw with your eyes closed. And the better you get at picturing one object at a time, then you can start to expand your mental visualization. So maybe I can close my eyes and picture the tennis ball and the book side by side, or the whole table, or eventually you can remember everything, the whole space you're in, the whole room. And I'd really encourage you to tap back into your individual imagination and creativity. Aside from just imagining objects as being perfectly clear, you can also have a lot of fun playing with your imagination in other ways. So when I close my eyes and visualize the round tennis ball, I can also use my imagination to imagine what the tennis ball would look like if it was a square, or a rectangle, or a triangular tennis ball, or if it was a blue tennis ball, or if it was the size of this room or this building, or if it was really, really, really tiny. Playing with your mind like this can actually create interesting sensations, and you're literally activating different parts of your brain, which can sometimes encourage this rewiring process that we're working on in order to try and kind of reboot your visual system. And once you really understand that your memory, your imagination, and your visualizations are these massive components of your overall vision beyond just your eyesight, then it opens up these new doors to play with your perceptions and with your imagination and with this whole non-physical realm of vision, which is different for everyone. So I can give you some suggestions of ways to start to play with it, but it's kind of up to you to really dive deep and do some of that inner exploration. So spend some time honing and developing this skill of being able to see things with your eyes closed and improving your visualization, sharpening your memory, and really reinvigorating your imagination and creativity. And if you do that, the benefits are going to go beyond just your eyes and your eyesight as well. It can really help improve the quality of other areas of your life, your mind, and your body. So as always, if you have any questions or comments or experiences you want to share about your own personal visualizations or memory or imagination and what this is doing for you, feel free to leave them down below. If you haven't already, check out some of my other Bates Method 101 videos on YouTube. Have a listen to my podcast, the Naked Eye Podcast. You can find it on iTunes or on my website, which is integraleyesight.com. If you haven't been there, head over there, check out my blog. I've got all kinds of articles and things going on over there. And that's also where you can sign up for my monthly email newsletter called Eyesight Insights, where I send out an email once a month with various videos and audios and writings and little vision tips and tricks that just kind of help you keep your eye health as a priority in your life. So thanks so much for watching, and happy visualizing.